Hey everybody, how's it going? I'm putting together the first video for the how-to little steelhead series that a bunch of people asked me to throw together, so I figured I would start with the most simple steelhead setup. I already crawled up there and got all my stuff out, and then I took what I needed out of the box and brought it over here where there's a little better light, I'm hoping. Either way, I'm going to show the most simple steelhead setup probably there ever was, I guess. It's a super effective method. If you don't want to get into it really expensive right off the bat, but you want to catch a steelhead, this is about as simple as it gets. Here's the finished one right here, and it comes back to the easy drifters that I had out on the other video. So basically this is how to catch a steelhead. I mean, it's not guaranteed because they're steelhead and they're some of the most difficult fish you could catch, but for less than $1, obviously rod and reel and line isn't included, but for less than $1, how to set up and catch a steelhead. So I get these. I mean, everybody here has a different store that sells different things, but these are on sale. They're salmon assorted hooks, and they work for steelhead. They work for any fish, but the salmon assorted pack was on sale for $1, so I picked up 10 of them. So I got a whole bunch of hooks. Easy drifters, 99 cents, and the orange right here is probably my favorite. So to catch a steelhead for less than $1, take out one hook. I like using the smallest hooks available, and of course barbless at all times. It's usually required in most rivers anyways, but I go barbless no matter what, just in case you catch a native or something so you can release it. And I'll set the camera down right here on this log and open up the pre-done. This is a little short on leader. I've broke it off a few times and had to retie it. So literally all you do is run the bead. I mean, you don't have to even have yarn. I just like to get a little bit of yarn. So you take out one single bead right there in the camera. These are size 6, 16 millimeter. That's a pretty universal size. It works good. And take out one. It's not working very good here. One of the smallest hooks in the pack, which is right here. And I'll put those away and simply just tie that on. And I had a little piece of rubber egg right here on this. You don't really need to do that, but it's just to give it something else. Kind of. Also, I had it as a stop so I could slide it up and keep the bead from moving. But then I took a toothpick. They have bead stops, as people who bead fish well know, but it cost just as much or less actually to get a pack of toothpicks and shove one in, break it off where you want it, and that'll keep the bead. You want it to be about a couple inches above the hook. And this right here, you'll float it. I'll set this up again. Tackle box is a good camera hold. So yeah, you want to float this, drift it. This is for bottom fishing. I like to have the leader 1.5 to 2 feet long. This one's probably just 1 foot because, like I said, it broke and I had to retie the knot. And then I had the yarn. Basically, this kind of just gives it a little something you could add scent to if you'd like. So you can, I mean, obviously it's not going to catch or stick to the bead. So you add a little bit of fire gel or something to the yarn, and that holds the scent in. And then the toothpick to hold it, and you can slide it up. And then, yeah, 1.5 to 2 foot of leader. And right here, plain and simple. Essentially, this kind of replicates an egg cluster floating down, and a steelhead will see that and bite at it. They basically just bite, obviously just kind of out of instinct. Something floats by their face and they bite at it. But, you know, it's hard to predict what they're going to do. So I've always been kind of told that an egg cluster floating by is something they grab at, and this works. Yeah, it is as simple as it gets. And if this pack comes with like 6 to 8 sizes, or not 6 to 8 sizes, but 6 to 8 of the beads, and then the hooks that I got came with 40. So yeah, you put one bead on and one hook and a little bit of leader. Like I said, the yarn isn't necessary, but it's good for retaining the scent that you put on it. And then you'll run one, if I have one in here somewhere, just a pencil weight. And these I can get 4 for $1 at certain places. So yeah, 25 cents, a couple cents and a couple cents. You put it together, it's less than $1. Run this right off of your swivel so it kind of bounces and holds to the bottom. And yeah, you want that bead to be floating 1.5 to 2 feet above, because the steelhead are swimming up constantly, moving through the water. And yeah, you just want to get something flashy or big egg cluster looking thing. You can do real eggs as well. Get your little yarn bags or whatever they are. Not a yarn bag, but you know what I mean. The little, I'll talk about that later. Yeah, you just make a bag with the egg cluster, real eggs, and cure them. But this, for simple setup, starting, like I said, not even $1. And you can catch a steelhead. Steelhead will bite this if they want it. If they're aggressive, this will work just fine. Yeah, this keeps it floating, because obviously easy drifters and corkies and stuff float. Yeah, about 1.5 feet, 2 feet off the bottom. Cheap pencil weight, just to bounce, and this doesn't get hooked up and caught up in the rocks as easy as a chunk of lead would. And yeah, just constantly cast. Don't ever stop, because the time you stop casting for 5 minutes is when the fish swims by. So yeah, a lot of repetition in steelhead fishing. And it's pretty simple though. You just gotta get out there and keep going and don't stop. So this is the first video, and I'll go into beads, bobber fishing, jigs, so on and so forth. But yeah, it's super quick, super simple. Not too much detail in this video, so hopefully it works for people. Or, I mean, you don't need much for steelhead. They're simple. As far as bait setup goes, the fish are complicated, but super simple rig. I got all kinds of stuff, jigs, spoons if they're going for spoons that day, just constantly switch up. But yeah, that'll probably be it for this video. Easy drifter, single hook, pencil weight, and 1.5 to 2 feet a leader. And that's just a bottom fishing, drift fishing steelhead setup. So thanks for watching. See you guys on the next one.